Hey, what's happening, everybody? Don Carr here with another round of What's on Your Pedalboard. And today we have Filipe Pampuri.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here, man. Very
Awesome.
nice.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. So for anybody that may or may not know, or even if you already do know, or if you don't know, Filipe is the designer at Beetronics.
Yes, I founded the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys make great stuff, man. And you have a few of them here, of course.
We do. Actually, not even as many as people would imagine, because this board, it's not as fuzzy board as my usual boards.
Yeah.
But I got a few different ones. This is one that I usually keep in the studio that we use for studio work, so it has a variety, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. The color palette, man, I see right away. That was my thought. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, you can do a wide variety of stuff with this.
Yes. Also, I've been, for some reason, playing a lot of clean stuff as well. So, I like having, multiple, like, how we have the chorus and the phaser there, and sometimes those tastes, it gives it different things.
Yeah.
And some of these are quite big, too. So that's a big pedal board, too. Hard to decide what you put and make it fit. I almost didn't, but it's there.
Oh, no, you got it all in there, man. You got it all. It's great. Usually the best place to start is, where do we go in? What's first?
We go into the tuner.
Okay.
And then from the tuner, we go into the pitchfork, which it is one of my favorite pedals. It was a pedal that I got as a gift from my friend Joe Barisi, the producer. And me and Joe are pedal freaks, obviously. And at some point, he gave me that. I was like, dude, try this thing out and you're going to like it. And it has never left any board that I have has a pitchfork.
Dude, I hear you, man. I got one too, man. Love it.
It's really good tool for, like, I don't know, everything pretty much,
Yeah, I know. The dual mode is crazy, man.
Yeah, it became like a characteristic for me on a lot of stuff that I go play and samples that I want to make. I use that. So from there, we go into the plus pedal, I believe. And then from the plus pedal, we get out into the protein into the zombie into the whole fuzz sections there, like the Vespa and the Zozo fuzz, which is a true Fi. I don't know if many people are familiar, but incredible pedal.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I've never heard of him. That's cool.
It's a clone, I guess, of a Tone Bender.
Yeah.
It has, I believe, OC 81s transistors on it, if I'm not wrong. Or I believe that is. And then it goes from there back into the CB, and then CB into the Volante into biphase into Ecosystem, Big Sky, and then ACS one.
Oh, nice, nice.
I do use the ACS one a lot to go record just straight in.
Sure.
Also, another thing that I really like about it is the headphone jack.
Yeah.
I do a bunch of sessions where I don't want to be bothering people while I'm creating, and be one more input that's always playing stuff on top while people are, creating a loop or something. So I'm usually on my headphone, and I just unplug my outputs, and I stay on my headphone. And once I actually have an idea that's worth showing, and that I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Okay, I'm ready.
I just unplug my headphone, and I go and I ask them, okay, open me, I got something, and then I throw my part in. So
nice.
A lot of this type of work for me. It's cool to do that, to be on. I also like to be on my own kind of whenever I'm doing, so I like being on the headphones.
Yeah.
I guess it's a pretty standard signal path in some ways, but it has a lot of different sounds. One thing that's cool to mention is that the CB, it comes in mono, and then it outputs in stereo, right? And then from then on, it stays in stereo, the whole board.
Okay.
Sometimes I will run the CB in mono because I also like some of the settings of the CB in mono, so I'll literally just unplug the cable there.
Oh, okay.
If I'm
That's
doing
easy.
that.
Yeah.
And then it's cool because at some point, like for example, the biphase where I can actually throw in a phaser on only one of the sides. So if I have the CB running, for example, a harmonizer and we're doing the dry wet thing, I'll grab the side that has the harmonizer and add a phaser only on the harmonizer and keep my my dry sound still going to, just dry, and I like doing those things. So
yeah, that's kind of one of those things we were talking about earlier. Is it's like you can use more kind of extreme effects as long as your like part is still clear, so you keep the unaffected side,
It's almost like we have a pedal, for example, like the Royal Jelly that has a blend knob.
Yeah.
And having the blend knob, this is kind of what I do after the CB outputs, the dry wet.
Right.
Anything, I have always my dry side.
Yeah.
I didn't mention about the dual expression from Electro Harmonics.
Yeah.
I'm currently writing that onto the Zombie and the CB at the same time.
Oh, cool.
So it controls both of them at the same time, and it's pretty cool. You can do some really weird stuff.
Yeah.
One cool thing about this is probably the latest addition to my rig, which is the ecosystem. Last time I was here at Sweetwater, I got to meet the guys from Empress, and
perfect.
We are always doing trades
Yeah.
as pedal addicts, so I got that one, and I love that thing. It's incredible.
That's cool.
Really incredible.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And see now, just being around you a little bit, and and hearing you play, and the kind of things you go after, I can see immediately that the signal flow and your choices too of pedals, but the signal flow especially has a lot to do with how you are envisioning what it's going to sound like on the backside.
Definitely, it is. I mean, I guess. The Pedalboard's almost like a little bit of you in it, but I like it. I've been running, there's the whole stereo part of things, like not everybody likes it running in stereo, but since also I like amps, and I have a bunch of amps at our studio and stuff, but for the practicality of things, a lot of the times you just want to get in and do something. So doing that, and having the ACS one, that's very easy for you to actually go stereo. For us to do this whole setup with two amps and mic two amps, it takes it takes sometimes a little more. So it's cool to have that option to just go in stereo quick, fast, and I do that a lot. So I really like those things.
Yeah. Well, and that way you can just set up, and you can just throw that up in front of a set of monitors and just hear it back exactly the way you want to hear it.
Exactly. And what I hear on my headphone, it's quite exactly what's going in. I mean, depends on the preamp, whatever.
Right. But it's really close.
It's it's pretty much the same. So I like that, and I like the sound of fuzzes nowadays. We're getting better with the whole amp modulation things. And I like the sound of some fuzzes because it sounds sometimes a little bit more like you're going straight in, and I like those sounds.
Yeah.
One cool thing to point out is that I got this from Sweetwater as well, the biphase, right when it came out. I think it was before they even announced. It popped up. I was like, oh, damn, I'm grabbing one of those. Yeah. I wish I had grabbed 3.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, because you guys do, like, in your studio, at the Hive, you guys do, like, different setups, right?
We do. It's actually a funny thing. I was telling Tato and the guys, like, this is probably my first pedal board in years that doesn't have any of the Chase Bliss pedals, which are some of my favorite people and favorite brands. But it's not because of anything other than I moved most of them to my synths, and all of my synths have different pedals. So at our studio, the Hive, we have every synth is connected to its own pedal board and has its own signal chains, things that we found that, this works really well with it, and we run those things. And I wish I had a biphase for my Rhodes, which I really like that on the Rhodes, but I ended up grabbing it to here. I wish I had another Chase Bliss reverb for me to put on this board, but it's actually on the OBX8.
Oh my gosh.
But I love pedals. I love running other instruments as well, like synths and stuff, like true pedals. On one cool thing I do on my Rhodes, we have that Digitech, the Whammy, the Ricochet
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
money.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that thing on the roads is really cool. Like you going up an octave on the roads and doing the whole thing. It's amazing. Like everybody that comes in, I'm like, check this out, and you trigger that. It's like it's really
Yeah.
cool, really impressive. Like sounds.
Well, and leaving those pedals set up like that on those specific instruments, it's like you've got, it's instant creativity. You can just hop in and start making sounds immediately.
Yes, one of the things about that I feel it's like, there is the whole thing in the studio workflow and all that you want to have, But then we also kind of limited, and a lot of the times I wanted to have many pedal boards and be able to patch everything to any instrument.
Yeah.
But nowadays we kind of try to find, me and my brother, we go through sounds and we find sounds that we like. And then we're like, okay, our Rhodes has this 5 cool sounds, and that's kind of our characteristic whenever we're working.
Yeah.
Right? We get those things that are very specific. So we kind of try to limit it a bit, the palette. That way, whenever we're creating something, like my brother will suggest, or somebody who already knows will suggest, what about that sound that you do with the fuzz on this? That would be cool on that part. And we just go straight to it. We don't stay too long, like always tweaking and not actually getting to the
just actually
point.
trying different stuff out, like all the option anxiety or option overload. You don't really have any of that.
We already take care of that before, like some days we go there just for that.
Yeah.
Where we just stay like the whole day just tweaking, not really recording anything and finding sounds. After we found them, they're there.
Yeah.
And they stay there.
Yeah. And you know right where they are, and you just go right to them, hit the
exactly.
button. Yeah, that's killer, man. Well, okay, I think it's about time to hear some sounds here, my friend.
All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
I'll start with a cool, let's see, show the dual expression, what it does with the zombie and the CB, because that sounds unique. So just get the noise out. So I can explain what's
there's
going on.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can explain what's going on there. The zombie, we were running a filter on the low octave, and then we have a fuzz in it, and then we're running the harmon mode, the dual harmon mode on the CB, and going up to an octave. It gets pretty cool. Also, we could try like if we make the filter on the main, take the octave out, and let me see what that's like. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, you got them working in tandem. That's nice, man.
Yeah, one thing that I like to do combining those two is because of the dry wet, since the CB is outputting only the dry on one of the sides, if you run like a pattern, for instance, like this, right, if we're running a pattern and if we throw on the CB will have one of its sides with only the pattern of the zombie, and the other side's gonna have both things combined, the zombie and the CB.
Okay.
Yeah, it can get pretty weird.
Yeah. that's cool.
I really like doing that kind of combo. A few things that I like about it, for example, the biphase, where I can control each of the sides separately. So you can play with it, you see that like all the CB craziness is coming out through this side, but then this side also has the phaser. For example, I could flip and have the phaser on the other side. it already became quite different. Just flipping the side of the phaser that we were using.
Exactly.
I like those kind of things. Also, let's see if we had a delay. Now the phaser is only going on that repetition that's going there. Flip that as well. Yeah, that's fun, you know.
Yeah, that's fun. That really is.
I like playing with that, the whole thing of like the stereo and maybe one side having a thing, another one having the other, and
right, multiple rhythmic elements at the same time too. You know, because then I mean, you know, the pedals start playing themselves, man, and you're just like kind of guiding it. You know,
it is.
That's neat, man.
You can also get crazy with that if you start adding fuzz. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's neat, man. That's some really interesting the way the textures changed. You know, it's again back to the workflow thing, right? This is you've got this set up in a way that's intuitive for you, and you know where to go to, man.
I try to know usually.
Well, there's always surprises, right?
I go on going.
Yeah.
I like going on the crazier parts of things, especially. You know, if you're trying to come up with like a sample for a song, or if you're trying to, you know, I like going on the different ways, especially for guitars nowadays.
Sure.
Like, obviously, you know, if you're going on a rock record, you know, it's gonna be one thing. But if you're also going on a record where it's not guitar driven, you have like sounds that are almost like if you were creating a pad on a synth, but you're actually creating with guitar.
Right.
And the sound. Not only the sound, but the characteristics of how you play and how you create. For me, I'm no piano player, so I have a way better workflow on playing on guitar. So sometimes I just want to create an actual pad. That sounds like a synth. You know, that sounds like something else.
But it's always interesting because you've got all those sounds. It's always dependent on the song and the situation, right? But you're prepared for whatever. Which is great,
exactly. I like it. It's like I said, you know, it's more of a studio board. You know, if you have an specific gig, you know, I usually would not have a board that big. You know, I was telling you that story. I got home these days. When I knew I was coming here, I was like, okay, let me bring that big studio board home just to check, make sure everything it's in decent shape. Yeah. And my wife looked at me. She was like, is that normal? That's not normal, right? I was like, what's normal? She was like, to have a pedal board that big. I was like, I think there's people that have way bigger pedal boards than mine.
This is normal.
She was like, no, it's not. Come on. I'm like, okay, man. You know I'm crazy about pedals already.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, this is what we do, right?
That's not news.
Funny stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Cool. Yeah, it is, man. And this is one of many.
Yes.
This is one of many. This
it has to be, right?
Yeah, great.
I'm one of those people I see people with pedal boards that are super clean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like, how do you guys do this? Because things usually don't last a couple hours with me. Like, it's like in a couple hours, I'm already taking something apart. And then, all right, no, this cable's not going to make it there. And then just pull this other cable, just plug it in here, just do this. And I'm always messing with it. I probably changed it 3 or 4 times before it came in. So,
Man, it looks good, though. You're hiding it well.
I'm trying, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Thank you.
Great. Man, Filipe, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate being here.
Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing your pedal board and showing us, this is, again, this is sort of the workflow, look inside your mind and the way you think creatively. And I dig it, man. I really do. Nice.
Awesome.
Nice
Thank
stuff,
you.
man. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions about pedals in general and most of the stuff on the board here, make sure to contact your Sweetwater sales engineer or check us out at sweetwater.com. Thanks.
Right.